Hello viewers! Hi, I am Jesselin Batino and I will be your tour guide for this video. I will be touring you to the three of the many historical places here in the Philippines. First one is the National Museum. Second one is Casa Real. And the third one is the Baraswain Church. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Look guys, the weather is nice. And we are now here in our house! You guys must be wondering what am I doing here? Since it is pandemic, I won't be able to tour you just like how we usually do. So going back to my place, we're going to adjust and do a net tour. Don't worry viewers, our tour is not cancelled. We will just have to proceed to this alternative way of touring you guys. And just like what I said, this is going to be a net tour by means of the pictures I have and the pictures that I have taken from the internet. You will be able to picture on how it looks like to be on the places in which I've mentioned a while ago. And so, without further ado, here we go.
3 historical places. 1. National Museum. The National Museum of the Philippines or Pambansang Museo ng Pilipinas is an organization of the government that umbrellas a number of national museums in the Philippines, including ethnographic, anthropological, archaeological, and visual arts collections. These national museums are National Museum of Fine Arts, National Museum of Anthropology, National Museum of Natural History, and National Planetarium. Since 1998, the National Museum has been restoring and safeguarding important cultural properties, sites, and reservations throughout the Philippines as the trusted regulatory and enforcement agency of the Philippine government. All these museums are located in the National Museum Complex in Manila. The institution also operates branch museums throughout the country.
Let us go first with the National Museum of Fine Arts.
The National Museum of Fine Arts, formerly called the National Art Gallery, is housed in the old Legislative Building. On July 16, 1926, the building was formally inaugurated during the World War II. The building was heavily damaged, though built to be earthquake resistant. After the war, it was rebuilt, albeit less ornate and less detailed. During the martial law era, the Legislative Building was closed down. Today, the building holds the country's National Art Gallery, Natural Sciences, and other support divisions.
Next up, National Museum of Anthropology.
The National Museum of Anthropology, formerly known as the Museum of the Filipino People, houses the Archaeology Division, Ethnology Division, Exhibition, Editorial and Media Production Services Division, Maritime and Underwater Cultural Heritage Division, and Museum Services Division. The building was the former headquarters of the Department of Finance.
Now moving on to the National Museum of Natural History.
It was recently announced that the third building of this museum complex, the one presently occupied by the Department of Tourism, shall be developed into the National Museum of Natural History once the department moves out and transfers to its permanent location in Makati. The National Museum of Natural History will have a hexagonal DNA tower structure in its center, which will be the base for the ventilating roof dome of the whole building. In October 2017, The National Museum of Natural History officially opened to the public with its iconic Tree of Life structure.
And last but not the least, the National Planetarium.
The planetarium was planned in 1970s by former National Museum Director Godofredo Alcacid Sr. with the assistance of Mr. Maximo P. Sacro Jr. of the Philippine Weather Bureau and one of the founders of the Philippine Astronomical Society. The building started on construction on 1974 and completed 9 months after it was formally inaugurated on October 8, 1975. 2. Casa Real.
Casa Real is familiar to me, for it is located in the province where I live.
Casa Real de Malolos, built in 1580, it originally served as the seat of government of the town. It also became the town's Casa Tribunal, Ayuntamiento, and Casa Presidencia Municipal. It served as the office of the treasury and the office of the town's gobernadorcillo during the Spanish period. It served as the national printing press of the First Republic, where the revolutionary organs and etc. were printed. It was restored in 1852. When the Americans captured Malolos, Casa Real became the seat of their military government. It was turned into a hospital in 1923 and later became an annex of the Bulacan High School in 1941. It housed the Japanese Chamber of Commerce during the Japanese occupation, and lastly, it was converted into a municipal library, now a museum serving a final repository of existing memorabilia. One of the permanent exhibits of Casa Real Shrine are relics of the brave women of Malolos, of whom Rizal wrote a poem to honor their courage of setting up a school against objections from the town's friars. 3. Baraswain Church.
Baraswain Church is also located in the province where I live. But since I am not the type of person who often goes out, I do not have much idea or details in mind about this. So let's check this out.
Baraswain Church, officially as the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish, is a Roman Catholic church built in 1888 in Malolos, Bulacan. Having earned the title as the cradle of democracy in the East, the most important religious building in the Philippines, and the site of the first Philippine Republic, the church is proverbial for its historical importance among Filipinos. Baraswain was known before as Bangkal, a part of Encomienda of Malolos, integrated by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi with the town of Kalumpit on April 5, 1572. In 1859, Baraswain was separated from Malolos. As a new town and parish, the Our Lady of Mount Carmel was deemed to be its patroness. As tensions were brewing between the Filipino revolutionaries and the Americans who have arrived in the country in the wake of the Spanish-American War, the Philippine Revolutionary Government, under the leadership of Emilio Aguinaldo, decided to move the capital north from Cavite to Malolos in Bulacan. In 1903, the town of Baraswain was abolished as the former town was decreed to be reunited with Malolos. Before 2002, the image of the church has been depicted in certain monetary bills.
So guys, when visiting the Baraswain Church, you will be given this pamphlet. So this is like a little guide about the different attractions that will be seen inside the historical place. And also, you will be able to buy this souvenir. Lucky that I was able to get one myself. Obviously, I've already had my quick visit in Baraswain Church. So, what's next are my few clips and pictures that I have taken from there. Enjoy! Texas Net Tour. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I was really hoping that I was able to entertain you. Again, I am your net tour guide, Jesselin the Batino, and I am hoping to see you again soon. Goodbye!